This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by Medal of Honor. Step up to Tier 1 on October 12th, 2010. And Doritos and Pepsi's Challenge to You. Today on Film Riot, we give you what you've been asking for since the beginning. A short film from us that's not a comedy. So there you have it, Film Riot's very first serious action short film, which we made in honor of our sponsor, Medal of Honor. So if you liked it, thank them. And the short film gives me the opportunity to answer a few questions that have been coming in for a while now. So today we're going to talk about realistic gunfire, where to get good gun props, and getting the war look. Not to be confused with warlock, because they sound alike.
Because I said that last take.
Shut up, they don't know that. Now the first thing I'm going to cover is how I got the look of this sketch. Now since I wanted a war film vibe to it, I decided two things up front. One, I was going to shoot with a high shutter speed, and second, I was going to shoot all handheld with no stabilizers like my glide cam. The higher shutter speed is to give the footage a choppier look, and the reason it gives the footage a choppy look is because the higher the shutter speed, the less motion blur, so every movement is going to look a little more violent, which doesn't hurt when your actor's throwing a punch. So a slower shutter speed means motion blur, and a faster one means less or no motion blur. So with a normal shutter speed, your motion will have a bit of blur to it, as you can see here with Josh moving his arm. But when we crank the shutter up to somewhere around 200, you can see that Josh's arm is sharp pretty much all the way through. Second thing I did while shooting was to go all handheld, and the reason I did this was because I wanted a more immersed feel like in Saving Private Ryan. In my opinion, this makes the viewer feel more involved and in the moment with the character. On top of that, when it comes to action, you can make it feel much more exciting with constant movement to the camera. And for us low budget guys, every little bit helps. And our final reason is time. We had to get in there, get our shots, and get out before anybody noticed. Because this was a $0 short film, we had no permission or permitting. So with that in mind, lockdown shots and dolly moves were out of the question. So once we got through the trial of shooting at that unbelievably hot location, which I had the joy of putting Josh through hell at, it was time to get the edit done and then move into color correction, which color correcting is going to be the final step in getting my war look. Again, I wanted to go off what audience relate to war footage, which means a very desaturated image with warmer tones. So in Magic Bullet, I desaturated my image, pushed everything to a warmer tone, added some contrast, and then desaturated again. To finish it off, I added some film grain to degrade the image and give it a grittier look. Next up is realistic gunfire, but before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsor, who was our inspiration and the reason we made the opening sketch, and that's Medal of Honor. This is a new breed of warrior for a new breed of warfare. This is Tier 1. In the game, you'll play as a Tier 1 operator, one of the most elite warriors in the world. And Medal of Honor is available October 12th, so go get yourself a copy and get to researching your own war film. Gunfire, mother father! Realistic gunfire is easier to pull off than you'd think. You just need 3 essential things, and that's a good gun prop, a good sound effect, and a muzzle flash asset. For the gun, I would recommend going the airsoft route. Their guns look extremely real even in close-ups, and you can get some handguns that will also have realistic blowback. So now that you have a good-looking gun, it's time to shoot your footage, and when you do, make sure your actors react to the recoil properly. A good idea is to go find some videos of people shooting the real version of that gun to show your actor what the recoil actually looks like. Then when you're on set and shooting, even though they're doing the motion properly, it's still gonna look a little ridiculous. So they're gonna have to get past that. Now that you have your footage and you're in post, it's time to start making your actor look a little less ridiculous. First thing you're gonna need is a good asset for a muzzle flash. Now I said a few times before, Video Copilot's Action Essentials 2 is best for this, but you could always just Google muzzle flash and find a few decent things for free. Next is to take your muzzle flash, size it to what's needed, and place it over the barrel. Then add a blending mode, which I find for muzzle flashes, screen usually works really well. Now duplicate your footage, brighten it, and add a mask around the places the flash of your gun should affect. And then feather the crap out of that. This should only last for 1 frame. Finally add your sound effect and convincing gunfire. This year, Doritos and Pepsi are changing the game. You choose which brand you want to shoot a commercial for, Doritos or Pepsi Max. Or if you're feeling really confident, do one for both. Get your best idea together for a Doritos or Pepsi Max branded Super Bowl commercial. Make it action-packed, make it funny, or make it none of the above. It's your call, just make it awesome. Then write it, shoot it, and submit it. Be one of the 5 finalists for Doritos and or one of the 5 finalists for Pepsi Max and win $25,000. Then if your submission is rated one of the top 6, 3 from each brand, we'll air your commercial during Super Bowl 45. But that's not it. If you get first place on the USA Today ad meter, they'll give you $1 million. Second place gets $600,000 and third place gets $400,000 freaking dollars. And if we sweep the top 3, all 3 winners get another $1 million. And to top it off, the finalist with the highest scoring ad wins a contract gig to work with the pros on future Pepsi Max and Doritos commercials. Sound good? Yeah, I thought so too. So get cracking, and just remember the 3 most important things whenever making a short film or commercial is a great idea, great audio, and great lighting. Now I can't help you out with the idea, but you can get good tips on audio from these past episodes, and good tips on lighting from these. So get cracking and make that cheddar. So we've reached the end of our season finale, which really isn't a season finale, but we didn't know what else to call it. So just remember, there will be no Film Riot the entire month of October, but we will be back the first Thursday of November. That's November 4th. And as you probably saw, we had some CGI elements in the opening sketch, and we are going to be touching upon that. So our first episode back, we're going to be talking about the integration between live action video and CGI elements. We're also going to be talking about shooting the sketch with the 5D and the trials that came along with it. But you can keep in touch with me the entire month of October by following me on Twitter at twitter.com/Ryan_Conley, and Josh at Josh_Conley, Bruno at Brew_knows, and Stark at MStarkTV. You can also follow us on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page because we're going to be trying to post stuff there the entire month of October. So go subscribe. And I won't see you next Thursday, but I'll see you in November.
Carry on, friend.